Halo, Dokter Linda.
Men.
Belajar teori, tetapi juga langsung terjun ke lapangan, membantu mengidentifikasi masalah, perencanaan potensi, hingga
Second
menjadi
one,
penjuru
Dr. Rafinda
petani.
Chandrajot.
Kami percaya pendidikan dan kapasitas petani adalah modal penting untuk keberlanjutan sumber daya petani. Kami menyediakan lingkungan belajar yang kondusif dan berdaya dukung tinggi, meliputi asrama yang tertata rapi dan representatif, area kampus yang hijau dan asri, lahan praktek luas yang tersebar di beberapa titik lokasi, serta perpustakaan dengan koleksi buku yang komprehensif untuk menunjang kegiatan riset dan penyusunan tugas akhir. Di sini, mahasiswa dibina untuk menjadi insan berkarakter kuat, mandiri, dan bertanggung jawab. Siswa dibina untuk berkarakter kuat, mandiri, dan bertanggung jawab. Polbangtan Yoma juga membekali mereka dengan berbagai keterampilan tambahan yang memperkuat soft skill serta menumbuhkan daya juang dalam menghadapi tantangan masa depan. Berbagai keterampilan tambahan yang memperkuat soft skill serta menumbuhkan daya juang dalam menghadapi tantangan masa depan. Keterampilan tambahan yang memperkuat soft skill serta menumbuhkan daya juang dalam menghadapi tantangan. Polbangtan Yoma bukan hanya tentang pendidikan, tapi juga tentang inovasi. Mahasiswa kami didorong untuk menjadi usahawan muda. Mereka menciptakan produk-produk inovatif yang mampu menjadi solusi praktis di tengah-tengah masyarakat. Usahawan muda. Mereka menciptakan kami menjalin sinergi dengan HIPS untuk mengembangkan ekosistem kewirausahaan di kampus melalui seminar, pendampingan bisnis, dan penguasaan networking. Ini membantu mahasiswa memahami aspek kewirausahaan dan pemasaran. Pendampingan bisnis dan penguasaan networking. Ini membantu mahasiswa memahami aspek kewirausahaan dan pemasaran. Melalui PWMP, Polbangtan Yoma mengajak para alumni menjadi pelopor wirausaha pertanian. Inilah kesempatan untuk mengembangkan bisnis, menciptakan lapangan kerja, dan menjadi bagian dari suatu pertahanan pangan. Inilah kesempatan Polbangtan Yoma membuktikan komitmennya melalui aksi nyata dalam mendukung program kampus vokasi berdampak. Mahasiswa kami terjun langsung ke lapangan, mendampingi petani dalam upaya mewujudkan swasembada pangan. Kami juga menjalin kolaborasi dengan pemerintah daerah untuk meningkatkan produktivitas pertanian sekaligus kesejahteraan petani. Polbangtan Yoma telah berevolusi dari sekolah pertanian menengah atas menjadi Politeknik Pembangunan Pertanian. Kami adalah institusi yang terakreditasi baik sekali oleh Ban PT dan kami akan terus mencetak sarjana terapan yang profesional dan berkarakter. Di tangan para pemuda inilah masa depan pertanian Indonesia berada. Mereka adalah tulang punggung penggerak pembangunan pertanian. Dari kampus Polbangtan Yoma, kami melangkah menuju pertanian yang berdaulat. Polbangtan Yoma melahirkan petani modern mengukuhkan kedaulatan pangan Indonesia.
Hello, good morning. Good morning. Herat, are you in there?
Yes, good morning, doctor.
Hi, good morning. How are you, friend?
I'm fine after a long, long
Yeah,
time seeing you.
finally. Thank
Mhm.
you for your coming. Thank you very
Okay,
much for
this
your
welcome.
willingness to serve as a speaker at our event despite your busy schedule.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, the webinar will be managed in a panel session. So we just wait for another speakers. Okay.
How are you, Dr. Herat, Dr. Mahinda?
Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah. So we waiting for the another speaker. We we will start in few minutes. Yeah. So do you prefer panel or just make it divide in two sessions? After you give presentation and we give some question and answer, or we direct to panel session after you give presentation and we continue to the Dr. Rafinda Joshi. Which prefer do you want? Dr. Herat? Dr. Malinda?
Yes, I can share the presentation in
Yeah.
here.
So do you prefer panel session or we divide into two sessions?
Sorry, I couldn't play.
It's okay. Both is okay, right? Both is okay, right?
Uh, Dr. Rusli, I
Okay.
just call Mr. Joshi.
Okay.
He asked me to be the first speakers
Ah,
because
okay.
he has another programs.
Oh, okay. Rafinda Joshi first.
Okay.
Okay.
What about you, Dr. Mahinda?
It's okay. It is prefer for as you. I can do the later. Okay, it's no problem.
Okay, you
Okay, take
have
your time.
a time ya till 12 ya.
Yes, okay. Okay, friend.
Okay,
I can
thank
manage.
you, Herat.
Okay.
Okay.
So we divide
Okay, so
into.
the first speaker is Dr. Joshi and then followed by
Okay.
Dr. Herat.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Rafi, Josie.
Good morning. Yeah,
Good
Morning.
morning, Dr.
yeah.
Josie.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
we
you.
start now. Okay.
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 Can I share my file?
Yes.
Okay.
I think we start for the ceremony first. Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. May peace and blessing be upon all of us.
Welcome back to the International Webinar Series 2025, Day 2. Our high respect goes to the Director of Polbangtan Yoma, a lecturer, our distinguished speaker, and all webinar participants joining us today.
To begin today's session, let us pray according to the Psalms. Please begin your prayer. Prayer completed.
Before we proceed to the presentation session, allow us to introduce our speakers. First one, Dr. Mahinda Herat, National Institute of Post-Harvest Management, Sri Lanka, with the topic Youth as the Future of Agriculture, Innovation, Entrepreneurship, and Sustainability. Second one, Dr. Rafrinda Chandra Joshi, Senior Consultant, Philippine Rice Research Institute, Philippines, with the topic Rice Invasive Species in Changing Climate, Need for Eco-Friendly Sustainable Management Approach.
And now, allow us to introduce our moderator for today, Mr. Muhammad Rusliadi, SP MSc PhD. He is currently employed as a lecturer at Polbangtan Yoma, Ministry of Agriculture. His teaching and research interests include comparative study, agricultural policy, agricultural extension, agricultural sociology, community empowerment, vocational education, and rural development, as well as its poverty reduction. He has some collaborative research projects with international and national journals, proceedings, police beliefs, and international book chapters. With that, we officially hand over the session to Mr. Rusliadi, who will guide us through today's program. Time is yours.
Thank you very much, Miss Hilmi, Miss Hilmi, and Mr. Hilmi and Miss Hilmi. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Distinguished speaker, respected panelists, and their all participants. Today, on behalf of Organizing Committee, I would like to warmly welcome to you today in Polbangtan Yoma International Webinar. The title is Building Sustainable Food System Through Organic Farming, Youth Empowerment and Digital Agriculture. We are honored to have participants from diverse background, academia, lecturer, government institution, agriculture practitioner, and agriculture extension, student and young innovator, who share a common commitment to advance sustainable and resilient food system. Today's webinar is expert to how organic farming, especially rising and can enhance environmental sustainability, how youth empowerment can drive innovation and regeneration in the agriculture sector, and how digital agriculture can transform food production, distribution, and farmer livelihood in the era of smart and climate resilient agriculture. We are privileged to be joined by distinguished speakers who will share valuable insight, experience, and best practice. We hope this session will encourage meaningful discussion, knowledge exchange, and collaboration among all participants. Before we begin, I would like to inform you that this webinar will consist of two speakers. The first speaker is Dr. Rafinda Joshi from Philippines, yeah, and also Dr. Mutu Bandagira Mahinda Herat from Sri Lanka. They will give speech in two sessions today, and we hope this session will encourage meaningful discussion, yeah, knowledge exchange, and we share their talk during the discussion and actively engage in share the core discussion. Once again, welcome and thank you for joining us today. Let us begin this webinar with great enthusiasm and productive dialogue. Thank you very much. Before we begin for the first speaker, for Dr. Rafinda Joshi, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Thank you. Yeah.
How are you today?
Yeah.
It's good, right? Yeah. How is weather there in Philippines?
The weather is very hot now.
Oh, very hot now, right? Oh, same here also. Very hot. But just raining today in the morning in Jakarta. So it's a little
Jakarta.
bit,
Yeah.
a little bit cold here, but a little bit, yeah, warm. So before you begin for the presentation, I would like to maybe read the short uh, curriculum vitae from you, Dr. Ravinda. Is it okay, right?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Dr. Ravinda Chandra Joshi, he is senior consultant in Philippine Rice Research Institute, Philippines. He has over 25 years experience working in sustainable agriculture in Asia, Cambodia, Japan, Philippines, Vietnam, and in Africa, Nigeria, in the Pacific Island, Fiji, Solomon Island, and the Caribbean, Haiti. His work was span the breadth of national, regional, and international organizations, research and government institutions. He served as senior advisor, the Minister of Agriculture in both Fiji and the Solomon Islands. In each country, he developed national agriculture sector policy, assisted in the international cooperation, worked in national research, and assisted the senior director to translate the senior policy into corporate plan. In Fiji, Dr. Ravinda Joshi revived the Fiji Agriculture Journal and the Fiji Institute of Agriculture Science that had previously been inactive for more than 17 and 20 years, respectively. He has had visiting professor, visiting adjunct professor, roles in several national and regional universities in Fiji and Philippines. Dr. Ravinda Joshi is regular presenter and has been invited by various international organizations, including ASEAN, CIRO, FAO, World Fish Center, GSPS, and etc. He has shared this research work on invasive alien species and integrated pest management. Dr. Ravinda Joshi has edited 4 books and published over 150 research articles with students and collaboration on crop protection, particularly regarding invasive alien species in aquatic and terrestrial ecosystems. He is fellow on many professional societies and honorary position in number of professional network and associations. Today, Dr. Ravinda Joshi will give a speech for us. Rice invasive species in changing climate, a need for eco-friendly, sustainable management approach. So, before begin, just give some introduction here. Rice invasive species are becoming an increasingly serious challenge under changing climate change. This rising temperature, other rainfall pattern, and extreme weather even accelerate their spread, adaptability, and resistance. This invasive pests, weed, and disease deteriorate productive ecosystem balance and food security, particularly in rice-depending regions. Addressing this issue requires eco-friendly, sustainable management approach that integrate ecological principles, climate smart practice, biological control, and reduce reliance on chemical input to ensure resilient and sustainable rice production system. Okay, before we begin, we can ask to Dr. Ravinda Joshi, are you ready for the presentation today?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah,
I'm
time is
ready.
yours, Dr. Ravinda.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, time is yours.
First of all, I would like to thank the chair, Dr. Mohammad Rusi Yadi, for the kind words and introduction. And also, I would like to express my sincere thanks to Dr. Enda who actually approached me if I could assist with this international webinar. And Enda and me have worked together before in Fiji Ministry of Agriculture in Cornevia Research Station. So I cannot say no to her because she has been very kind and she did excellent work in Fiji. So today I'm going to share with you, I have been working on invasive species more than 35 years, especially focusing on invasive pest of rice. And my focus is more on developing sustainable management practices that are eco-friendly. So that is why I put my talk, and especially the invasive species are becoming very serious as the climate change is happening. And you can see now there are more problems in agriculture from invasive species than maybe 15 or 20 years back. So today, I would like to emphasize here. I don't know. I'm very happy that a lot of students and researchers, including I think undergraduate students, are attending this talk. So if I'm sure many of the students, when they look at the picture on my first slide, you can see some pink color eggs and some invasive pest of rice that are either on the water or on the land there. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear me. We hear you. It's clear.
Okay. And I request maybe everybody else can mute so that there is no disturbance. So I'll be talking more about the invasive species that are particularly problem in rice, and I'll focus only on the one on the snails. Because of the lack of time, I cannot share all other invasive pests that I'm working on, but I'll focus on the most important one, that is on snails, which are of pink color egg on my first photograph. So, I'm a senior consultant at the Philippine Rice Research Institute, and at the same time, honorary research associate for the Center for Agrobiosciences and International. So just to give a very brief introduction, Philippine Rice Research Institute is under the Department of Agriculture in the Philippines. It's a government organization where we develop technologies that are sustainable and eco-friendly. So, this is our main focus of our work on at the Philippine Rice Research Institute. The CABI, which is a Center for Agriculture and Biosciences International, its headquarters is in UK, but we have a regional office here in Southeast Asia and Malaysia, where I'm a research associate, and CABI has 50 member countries, and Indonesia is a part of one of the member countries of CABI. So, whatever I'm going to share today, you can easily get access to any information from CABI because you are one of the member countries of CABI in the world. So I encourage you, I don't know how many of you have been to the Philippines. If you come to the Philippines, don't always think about International Rice Research Institute. I think when you come to Philippine Rice Research Institute, you will see the kind of work we are doing. And in fact, the Philippine Rice Research Institute, there's a link at the bottom. So before you visit the Philippines, you can press on that link and you will know what Philippine Rice Research, the whole complex. It is in more than 100 hectares of the area. And here what kind of research do we do? And we also encourage collaboration with other countries. We also encourage scientists that are interested, or researchers or students that are interested, to come and do their research in the Philippines. They are most welcome, and you can always get the support from your institution, and we'll be happy to host you at the Philippine Rice Research Institute. So the structure of my talk is going to be very simple because a lot of students are attending, especially undergraduate students. So I want to share with you first what are the triple challenges in changing global climate, how it is affecting the food security. The second is I will give a little bit introduction about invasive species or invasive alien species. They are also called native species because some of you may not be familiar with these terms. And then what is the need for how to manage these invasive species. And one of the most important thing is the proper identification of the invasive species before you can manage. And these are very important to manage if you want to have sustainable agriculture, or you can even in organic farming. And of course, how these invasive species, they attack you different sustainable goals. So we have 17 sustainable goals. How do they affect? And what is the impact of climate that is causing these invasive species to be problem? And then I'll discuss only about the invasive apple snail, which is also called the golden apple snail. And this is a very common problem, not only in Philippines, but also in Indonesia and many parts of the world, including US, Europe, where I have been working on this snail species to manage snails without using chemicals. So it's more of a eco-friendly techniques that I have developed uh, together with my team. And of course, I will also share with you some of the knowledge-based information, the books and the other kind of digital tools that we have developed. And the most important part of my talk is how can I collaborate? How can I partner with you to work on invasive species together, whether it's a student or a professor or from the Department of Agriculture, from the Ministry of Agriculture, or other organizations. So there are three challenges. One of the biggest challenges, how are we going to feed so many people, so many mouths with safe and nutritious food? The most important part is safe and nutritious. So that is why, the sustainable agriculture or organic farming is very important because we need to produce food that is safe and at the same time is nutritious. So if you look at this images on the two images, the world population is growing. It's already 7.6 billion in 2017, and now you expect around 9.8 billion by 2050. So and by the 21st century, it is going to be around 11.2 billion. And one of the biggest problem is how to produce safe and nutritious food. Now, the other part of the graph, the other part of the photo shows, India has already now, actually, if you look at this data, India has already now become, by 2050, the population will be even higher than China, because China used to be the highest population in the world. But the good thing about Indonesia is that the Indonesia is in the 2022, it is under rank 4. But by 2015, it will be around the 6th. So Indonesia is able to take care of their population growth much better than other countries, especially my own country, India. Now, in producing the safe and nutritious food, one of the biggest challenge when you talk about rice agriculture, one of the biggest problem is methane emission. So the methane emissions, the rice paddies, the rice fields that are flooded are a significant source of methane emission. So we need to develop technologies that can reduce carbon footprints. So this is what I'm also going to show, some of my techniques on managing invasive species, how you can also reduce the carbon emissions. The second challenge is So the first challenge is how to feed so many people. The second challenge is to provide livelihood for the farmers. The farmers in most countries, that is one of the biggest problem is that from agriculture, we should be able to provide livelihood to the farmers that can improve their poverty index. Many countries are especially in the third world countries and also in the ASEAN region, especially in the Philippines and also in some other countries in the Asia, where one of the biggest problem is the farmers' uh, poverty has to be reduced. The third important factor is, okay, we need to produce a lot of food and the land is very limited, and the quality water is very, very getting scarce. So the third important challenge that we have is to sustainable natural resource management, especially in terms of land and also in terms of water resources. So when you talk of land, it would talk about soil health, which was also discussed yesterday by some of the speakers. In all of these things, the biggest problem that that the agriculture is experiences is the frequent and more severe attack of biotic invasive alien species. So invasive species are actually, I call them a hidden threat to sustainable development, because they are affecting all the three challenges that we have. So the invasive species are also affecting food security. Why? Because they are damaging our crops. They are also attacking, some invasive species are also attacking livestock, especially in Africa. And so the availability of food becoming little and little. Second is they affect also the nutrition and also increase the price of the food. The invasive species, when they attack, they cause a lot of damage. So there is a reduction in the quality of the food, and also increase the prices. And the third is the farmers are losing money. So in terms of poverty reduction, the farmers are earning less money because of invasive species. And secondly, they are making the communities more poorer and poorer. And invasive species also make people sick. Like one of the examples of invasive species that is affecting human being is the parasite that is transmitted by snails in rice fields, or a mosquito, which is also breeding in the rice field, is also called as an invasive species, increasing the disease. Leptospirosis, which is transmitted by rats, is also increasing because of the climate change. And the third important part that the invasive species are affecting is in terms of natural resources. That is the third challenge. So they are affecting native plants and native animals. So, the food is getting scarcer, and they also disrupt because of the excessive use of chemicals that are used to control invasive species. Before I forget, I have actually shared my presentation as PDF to all the participants, so that you can just listen to my presentation, but no need of making notes, because you can download the file easily. So what are invasive species? The invasive species can either be animals, or they can be plants, or they can be even microorganisms. And they are transmitted, they are either introduced with the intention or accidentally. So, some of the invasive species, I think in Indonesia, we have done a lot of work with cabbie. Water hyacinth was introduced in Indonesia as an ornamental plant. Now it is becoming a very big problem in the water reserve areas. Same thing that was for ornamental purposes. Snails were introduced in many countries basically for food. So that is the deliberate, that is intentionally we have introduced on without taking what are the risk factors involved. Unintentionally by accident, they can move by 4 ways. I always call them 4 T's, either by trade or by travel or by transport or by tourism. You know, many people, when you go to one country to another, sometimes they will tell you, oh, can you bring me some seeds of some plants? Can you bring some seeds of some vegetables without a permit? Without a permit. So invasive species are, they are also called non-native species. And they are actually introduced species. That's why they are called exotic species. Or they can be invasive alien species, can just also be called as invasive species. So you will read a lot of these terms in literature, so you do not get confused. So there are, for invasive alien species, there are many terms. And for native species, they are usually they are resident. They are originated from the country where they were. So invasive species, you know, there are more than 37,000 invasive species that has been introduced around the world, mostly by human action, that is 4 Ts. And secondly, they are actually causing 60% of the global extinction of species that are native species. And then they are also estimated to cost around more than 423 billion US dollars. And they are contributing to more than 80% of the, in terms of the impacts, the negative impacts that they have. So this is such a simple statistics about invasive species. Now, in rice, these are the very common invasive species that you not only found in Philippines or Malaysia or Timor-Leste or other places that I have been, but you can also find them in Indonesia. And I work very closely with a lot of Indonesian researchers on some of the invasive species, especially on the invasive apple snails, because these are the snails that are attacking rice. They are not attacking apple. They are of the size of an apple. That's why they are called apple snail. They can grow to a big size of an apple. And so these are some of the invasive species. So invasive species can be either snails, insects, rodents, plants, microorganisms. So these are the invasive species that are very common in rice. So what are the common characteristics of the invasive species? I just want to show you why they become problem. Because they have no natural enemies. They were introduced from other countries. So they did not come with their enemies in the new area. So they become a problem. Secondly, they reproduce very fast. They multiply very fast. I'll be showing you some video on how fast they multiply. And then they can survive in any kind of environment, whether there is flood, whether there is drought, whether the water is polluted, whether the temperature is very high, whether the temperature is very low. So they can adjust to any kind of environment. And they are also carriers, many of them are also carriers of invasive species. So what I've shown you here is the snail and also the rat. So there are common characteristics that are for the invasive species, but there are also specific qualities. Like say, for example, the snails can live for 1 to 3 years, and they can live without food for more than 8 months. And so, you know, and they can feed on more than 500 plant species. And one female can lay at one time 200 to 500 eggs per egg mass. So if the female lays for 1 to 2 weeks, then you can imagine thousands and thousands of eggs. Same thing in case of rats. One pair of rat can multiply and produce 500 rats in 10 months. So that is why, you know, they are called invasive, because they can multiply very fast and they can survive in adverse conditions. So what are the global impacts of invasive species? Because I study invasive species in many countries with a lot of invasive species experts. So one of the most important is the economic and environmental impacts. The cost is very high from invasive species. Can you imagine the global cost of the world, 1.2 million invasive species, around 1.4 trillion US dollars, which is 5% of the annual global GDP. So that's a huge amount. And if you look in the United States of America, in the US, they are very smart. They have quantified the invasive species. How much loss they cause is around 136 billion US dollars per year from invasive species. So this kind of data is not yet available in many countries in the ASEAN region. So this is the kind of data we need to generate for our countries so that we can get funding from other countries, from other international organizations, why we need to work on invasive species in these countries. And so, one of the most recent example is of the fall armyworm. I think Indonesia, lot of researchers are now working with me on fall armyworm also. And if we looked at in Africa, in 12 Africa's major rice producing economies, we saw the fall armyworm, which is an insect attacking corn, but now it's attacking rice. We are the first people to report on rice in the Philippines, and it is all over the Philippines on rice now after it was attacking corn. So, countries like Indonesia should also start watching if you are experiencing fall armyworm, not only in corn, but also in rice. So they are causing around 6.2 billion loss in harvest. So the invasive species damage, the impact on economies is very high. So this is just to give you an example in the US, and this is the kind of information we should get in the Philippines and also in Indonesia and other ASEAN countries where we lack this. For example, in the US, they know if you look at the invasive plants, how much US dollar loss is happening. If you look at mammals, like say, for example, the wild pigs, the rats, how much in US dollars. So this kind of data do we need. So in the US, they total it to around 136 billion US dollar per year. And this is a huge amount. That is why, when you look in Europe and also in the US, lot of funding for invasive species because they have good data to show why they need money from international organizations like FAO or other organizations that are working on invasive species for their research. So, this is just to show you that there are, under the International Union for Conservation of Nature, there are 100 worst invasive alien species that are listed. And I usually work on this invasive apple snail, or the old name is golden apple snail. I also work on rats, and I also work now on other the other invasive species that are affecting especially rice, vegetables, and corn. So today I'm going to talk about the invasive apple snail. The old name is golden apple snail. And I was showing you that it is listed as 100 worst invasive species. But the very interesting thing that is happening for the last few years, because of the climate change, there is increased flooding. So with the flooding, the snail is carried with the water, and it goes to areas where it has never been introduced before or has never been invaded before. So if you look at in all the ASEAN countries, this snail has now been affected, and there are actually 2 species of these snails. But the most important is the Pomacea caniculata, which is the most damaging and most abundant species. And the other one is P. maculata, that is Pomacea maculata, which is less widespread. But you focus now more on caniculator because they are the ones that are more damaging. And they were introduced from South America for many countries. It came to Taiwan. The Taiwan brought them from South America. They multiplied in large numbers. They sold it to the Philippines to increase the protein source of the Filipino farmers. But, the people did not like the taste. And the snails were abundant. And when heavy rain came in 1986, the first time it was reported in 1987 in the Philippines. And from 1987 until today, I work on this invasive species, on how to manage, and I've developed some new techniques to manage them in transplanted rice. So this is just to show you a very simple, video about how this invasive apple snail multiplies. I hope you can hear the sound.
The invasive apple snail life cycle begins when a female snail lays around 500 eggs, mostly during the night. Females usually lay one egg batch with approximately 260 to 1,500 eggs, about every fortnight if conditions are favorable. The eggs are laid just above the waterline on emergent surfaces, such as plants or structures like rocks, logs, or walls. The eggs are small and round, only 2 to 3 millimeters. They are bright pink-reddish and are easier to spot than the snails themselves. The eggs hatch after 7 to 14 days. The number of days is determined by the temperature. As they get closer to hatching, the eggs start to pale in color. Hatching may be delayed if eggs are temporarily submerged or at a lower temperature. Newly hatched snails are tiny, with shells of approximately 2 millimeters in diameter. The tiny snails drop into the water below and grow rapidly, feeding on algae and organic matter. After 15 to 25 days, the hatchlings develop into juveniles. Once their shell reaches 1.5 centimeters in size, the young snails begin to feed on young rice seedlings and other aquatic plants. From 45 to 60 days, when the snails reach around 2.5 centimeters in diameter, they become fully grown adults and are able to reproduce, with the interval between successive egg laying variably reported as 5 to 14 days, beginning the life cycle over again. Invasive apple snails can live up to 2 years in tropical and subtropical zones and lay eggs every 2 weeks. Due to warm temperatures, they do not hibernate and reproduce throughout their lifetime.
So this was just to show you that how they multiply so fast, how they produce so many young ones in a very short period of time, and that is why they they are damaging rice. Once you plant rice, they are able to attack the seedlings very well. And this is just to show you the life cycle. The whole life cycle completes from adult. It lays eggs, and the hatchlings comes out, which you saw in the video, and then it becomes mature. And within 60 days, the whole life cycle continues. So they produce a lot of snails. So one female can produce thousands of offspring, thousands of babies every year. And the whole one life cycle can complete in one generation, can complete in just less than 60 days. So this is just to show you, the egg that they start hatching. Once they start hatching, they were actually red in color. Then they become white, as you saw in the video. So just to show you, the life cycle is very short, and they produce a lot of individuals. So if you look at the agricultural losses, it's around 1.2 billion annually in the Philippines before, but now the losses are decreasing. But in Malaysia, it is around 28 million annually. This is a very old data that you are seeing on the left-hand side, but you can see the damage of snails. You see many seedlings eaten away, and only at wherever there is water, there is a lot of damage, and the damage is more on direct seeded rice than on transplanted rice. And if you look in West Java, Indonesia, we have data from my colleagues in Indonesia in 1995 that there are 12 districts that are affected. However, these area is now increasing because of climate change. In terms of human health, they carry a parasite, which is once this parasite goes into the central nervous system, and this only happens when when the people eat raw snails. Because in many countries, like I have seen in Philippines and also in other countries in the ASEAN region, especially in the mountainous area, people eat these snails as raw. They dip them in vinegar sauce or soy sauce and they drink it and they eat it and then they drink. So that's why the disease is now this kind of snail, this parasite is becoming very serious in Spain, in Ecuador, and in many parts of the world, especially in Hawaii also, because many people in Hawaii also eat raw snails. So this is a very important parasite. So the snails not only affect the agriculture, but also the farmer's health. And that's why it's very important to manage this snail. The third is the environmental problem. So whenever there is a snail problem, the first thing the farmer will do is to go and spray the field immediately. After transplanting, they used to spray the field very, very immediately so that all the dead snails, you can see them, and the seedlings, when the farmer is trying to protect it. But this is not the right way, because in direct seeded rice, we have seen that when you spray this kind of chemical, which is very commonly used, it reduces the root length and the shoot length. As a result, the snail damage the plant more in direct seeded rice because the seedlings are still small and the snail is able to eat them. So in terms of impacts also on trade, very big problem happens when especially now when you send your consignment to other countries, especially in Europe, they will check for your consignment whether it is water lettuce or other leafy vegetables. If they find the snail juveniles, which are very small, not easily seen by by a common person, then your consignment will be rejected. So it's causing a big problem, especially in terms of international trade also. And one of the impact is on the environmental species. You see a snail here. This is a native snail with the white eggs. This is not harmful to rice. This is not harmful to any crop. But, and this is easily consumed by people because the people like the taste of this snail. The skin is quite soft. However, when the golden apple snail or the invasive apple snail came, they eat the food of this snail, and this snail died because of starvation. And also, these snails are more sensitive to pesticides than the invasive species. So if you look at the overall impact of the invasive apple snails, it has effect on the economic, it has an effect on the health, it has the environmental problems, and also in terms of the loss in agriculture. And this cost is very high, is very high. And as a result, the farmer is really affected a lot. So why do we need to manage invasive species? Because invasive alien species, they affect all the 17 sustainable goals. So I've just given some examples here, how different SGDs are affected by invasive species. So this is, and because of this, because all the 17 goals are affected, the UN sustainable goals, or the UN has come out with a specific SGD number 15 to address the problem of invasive species. So you see, when you work on invasive species, you are working on a very important, one of the major important UN sustainable goal, that is number 15, because this invasive species I'm showing you affects almost all the UN sustainable goals. So this is just to give you the impact of different sustainable goals. How, for example, I give some examples on zero hunger. That is goal number 2, how it affects the economic growth. That is, so these are, and what kind of actions do we need to take when we are managing invasive species to reduce the impacts on the UN sustainable goals. So these are some of the examples I'm showing you that the invasive species affects almost all the UN 17 sustainable goals. And the 15 one is the very important one because it addresses the concern of the invasive species. So why do we need to support to manage invasive species? As I was telling you, so they help in to reduce the yield loss, that's crop protection. Second is to reduce the impacts, economic impacts, preserve the natural environment, reduce reliance on chemicals, because the use of chemical is causing a lot of problem, not only in organic agriculture, but also in sustainability of the environment, of the soil and water contamination, and also the effect on the human health as well as the other non-target organisms. And of course, we need to promote long-term sustainability by managing invasive species. That's why we need to work on invasive species. And why do invasive species are becoming problem in climate change? Climate change is a very complex phenomena, and I think very difficult for a layman or even a young agriculture student to understand what is climate change. Everybody talking about any problem happening now, they talk about climate change. But I try to simplify this to show why in climate change, the invasive alien species will become a problem. So, we all know that the earth is getting hotter, is getting warm, the temperature is increasing. And so what do we expect? We expect ecosystem changes. That means there will be some plants or some animal distribution will be affected. Either they will spread, they will increase their geographical range, like, the insects that used to could not survive during the cold weathers. Now you look in Europe and other countries, now they are able to survive cold weather because the temperatures have increased in those areas. So they are able to produce more progeny. And of course, these kind of shifts will also result in to favor the establishment and the spread of invasive alien species. And in this case, it is called snail. Now, if you look at the pictures down below, it's very, very clear. So there is a flooding. As a result, the snails are adversely affected. Now, there is drought. The snails will bury inside the soil and can live without food for more than 8 months. So they will survive when the water comes in. They will again become active. Now, in case of increased emissions, like increase in temperatures, the snails will multiply faster because their life cycle will become shorter and they'll produce more progeny. They will cause more damage. So this is just to show you the temperature that has changed. And the World Meteorological Observatory Organization is telling that confirmed that 2023 was the hottest year on the record so far. And you can see they have a good info this showing how the temperatures from 1980s have changed to 2023. So, when there is an increase in temperature, there is more consumption, there is more development, there is more movement, and also the fecundity or the number of eggs will increase, the survival will increase. So it depends on the kind of invasive species, but these are some of the general things that are happening in case of snails. Now, same thing I was showing you about the effect of climate. Now you look in Vietnam, almost all the provinces in Vietnam are affected by invasive alien species or invasive apple snails because they are carried by the flood water. Same thing is going to happen in Indonesia or is already happening, but not many people are monitoring. Now look at floods in Sumatra, North Sumatra. I think this is one of the mechanism how the snails will be spreading to the rice areas and across the areas where they have never been reported before or invaded. Same thing with increase in carbon dioxide. Can increase the egg laying capacity and also change the composition of the plant to make it more favorable for feeding. So we all know that climate change is causing these problems and invasive species becoming more serious. We need to develop strategies that are climate smart strategies. So this is what I'm going to show you. So there are different strategies. All of you know, the most important is the cultural control, the mechanical control, the biological control, and the last attempt is the chemical control when all other methods have failed. But we have developed already a technique in case of invasive apple snail in rice. We don't even have to use a single drop of chemical to control this kind of snail in rice, especially in transplanted rice. So I'm going to show you. So, when the snails came in, the FAO, the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, and also the International Rice Research Institute in the Philippines, they developed some techniques. They read some information here and there and try to put their minds together, advising farmers on how to manage the snails. And I just want to show you that some of those techniques, the farmers do not do. And that was the first time that, me and my group started looking at why farmers were not doing what they were told to do by International Rice Research Institute and also the FAO. So one of the things that the recommendation was to handpick the snails before transplanting rice, before in the early morning or late in the evening. So you can see the photograph, the picture, the drawing, that they are telling the farmer to pick those snails that are on the soil surface after last harrowing. But you will be surprised to know the farmer is not doing this technique, even if they know, because it is very laborious. So this is one of them, and it is very difficult to collect snails. And you can imagine the number of snails laid by one female is so high that even if you do it, you cannot control the snails completely. The second technique that they mentioned is about, this is an important one also. They said you can make some small canals and so that the water will be trapped there, and put this plant material, the plant material, the poisonous plant material into those canalets, so that when the snail comes, they feed on those kind of plants and they will die because they have some botanical pesticide. Again, the farmer usually, like say for example, they are using this some of these plant material to easily catch the fish, because the fish also die. So they are using it in the big canal areas to catch fish. But in terms of snails, it is very difficult because you need to get a lot of material to put in the field. If you have a field of 1 hectare, it is too much of work to look for those kind of plant material. So farmer not using also this technique. The third one is the using of an attractant. Okay, the farmers are using this papaya leaves, the taro leaves, and some banana leaves. They put them in the canalets. The snail comes and they collect it in the morning. But this is not environmentally friendly because you are disturbing the biodiversity. So we developed some new technique. Instead of using these leaves, we developed a new, we found a new cheap and easy to do and easy to get technique. So I'll be showing you a little later. Then, the farmers were told to put a screen around there where the water is entering, because the snails are carried by, but you can imagine the snails can climb up on the sticks and come inside. So again, the farmer said that this method is not very effective. Then, the other recommendation was to put these stakes, the wooden bamboo stakes, before planting rice so that the snails will lay their eggs on these sticks and the farmers can crush it. But the farmers, again, not using this because they say the egg is very sticky and they don't feel like crushing the egg. So, these techniques, they are not using it. And after transplanting, they maintain a shallow depth of water. That is a very important technique. And that is, we have modified that technique in our method. And the farmers are now in the Philippines are using the methods that I'm going to show you. So this is the old techniques that were promoted by FAO and ERI was at the seedling stage, at the vegetative stage, reproductive stage, maturity stage. So if you look at it at different stages, they use different techniques, but all of these techniques, only few of them the farmer follow, but the rest of it not. But the farmer, the most important for the farmer during that time was still to use the #1 chemical. So why did they not use? They said they're very labor intensive. Can you imagine? To collect the snails from 1 hectare is very labor intensive. It's not economical because they can buy a small bottle of pesticide. It will be cheaper than hiring labor. Not sustainable. And many of them are also harmful to the environment. The technique, like, putting of the poisonous plant material is also harmful for the environment because you will also kill other non-target organisms. So this is the new technique that we have developed. And now this technique is used in many countries, not only in Asia, but also in other countries like Haiti, which are poor countries. But the technique that we have developed for Spain or Ecuador, which are advanced countries in Europe or US, is different from this. This is especially for smallholder farmers and also for organic farmers. So in the seedbed, our idea is, and we have shown it, we need to produce a stronger seedlings. I'll show you what the stronger seedlings means. And these are some of the benefits. And before transplanting, how do we level the field? We don't need a laser leveler. If we cannot level the field completely, there will be some water pockets. So in those water pockets, you put some vegetable waste or newspapers, and you can collect the snails. And it's very, very easy because they are easily attracted to it. Then after transplanting, you maintain a shallow depth of water. That is also very easily done now because you have good leveling. So you can maintain shallow depth of water. So when there is a shallow depth, the snail will bury inside the soil. It will not feed on the plant because it cannot move. And then after harvest, you release the ducks. And so how it helps, the duck will only be able to control the snails that are of specific size. If the snail is bigger, then they cannot bite it. And of course, in all of these things, you need a community approach. So this is the first technique that we have developed. We developed seedlings, a 3-leaf stage, and we look at this leaf color chart, which Mr. Dindo was explaining about the leaf color chart yesterday in your presentation, in your conference, international webinar. So you look at this color. It should not be this color, dark color. It should be the second color. And in this, the seedlings will be not eaten by the snails because the snail prefer seedlings that are dark green in color because the leaves are smooth, they are soft, they are easy to eat. So you can use even 21 days old seedlings, but the most important is your seedlings should be of this color, not dark color. This color is most preferred because the leaves will be erect. If your color of the seedling is dark in color, the leaves will droop down. And that is why the snail will eat this one and not at this color. And the secondly, your seedling the root should be longer. So do not raise your seedbed with continuous water. You reduce the quantity of water so that your roots can go deeper, so that the plant can, after you transplant it, it will be safer. During land preparation, many people said, oh, you prepared the land very well, but if you are a farmer, I have myself experienced it, it's impossible to have a completely leveled field. So there will be certain areas of the field where there will be water. You can see in those areas you put the old newspaper or the market vegetable waste or food waste, and it will be attracted. The snails will attract to it, and they will that you do it during the land preparation. And of course, many farmers in the Philippines use basal application of complete fertilizer and urea, and we have seen that this practice can reduce the snails by more than 54%. The next one is the canalets. This is what the ERI and FAO also recommended. That is the right approach. But the most important is that in these canalets, you use, instead of papaya leaves or taro leaves or banana leaves, you try to put old newspaper. Just spread one sheet of old newspaper. Come next morning, you will see all the snails under the newspaper. And it's a very, very easy technique. Then, if the area is waterlogged, that means you cannot control water at all because it is of lower area, then you use the seedlings that are a little older. Maybe it is better to use 25 to 30 days old seedling. And there is no variety that is resistant to snail damage. So there are some varieties that grow very fast. From seedlings, they grow very fast. Those are the varieties that are very advantageous because the snails cannot eat once the seedlings are more than 30 days old or 28 days old. So during transplanting, very important is right after the transplanting, you maintain a shallow depth of water. You see the snails are not moving. They are on the surface or they will bury in the soil without damaging the seedlings. So this technique, you can use it. It's a very, very simple technique. And the chemical control is actually the last resort. In case of chemical control, even if you have to use, you can use neem formulations. They are very effective because the neem not only will help them as an antefidant, but also will make them a little inactive. After harvest, you release the ducks. And after harvest, you can see a lot of these snails are being eaten. They are eaten by rats. And there is a longhorn grasshopper that usually eat the eggs. But this kind of biological control is not very effective because the snails, they produce a lot of babies, lot of eggs. So it is not very, very good. But you can feed it to tiger shrimps, you can feed it to duck, you can feed it to fish. After you collect them, and you can also make liquid fertilizers, which is very, Dr. Palada was mentioning about yesterday about the fermented. So, a lot of countries are now producing, looking at how the snails, fermented liquid snails are good growth promoters. So this is the main key. I think this is the most important summary of how to manage the snails without using chemicals. So all of these methods are easy to do. That's number one. The farmer do not like complicated thing. Second, the farmer like it is effective. Third is it should not cause anything more to the farmer because that is already incorporated in their planting method and sustainable. And of course, it is healthy because these snails, they are not poison. They can still be consumed, but properly cooked. And if they are properly cooked, then you don't have a problem of the parasite. And of course, the farmer doesn't understand much about environment friendly, especially in the Asian countries. But the most important is that it also helps not only the crop, but also the soil and also the other non-target organism, including biological control. So, we have written a lot. We have written actually 2 books. And this book was actually launched at the 5th International Congress in Singapore in October 2018. This book is written by 3 people, myself, Dr. Kavi, who is a world expert on the snails taxonomy in the world. He is based in University of Hawaii, and of course my former boss, who is the director of PhilRise, Dr. Sebastian. So, we have written 2 books. The old book name is Golden Apple Snail. And then the recent book, the latest book, which I showed you, was released in Singapore, is we have changed the name to invasive because they are not golden in color. So we should not be calling them golden. That's wrong. So this is around 406 pages. This was published in 2016. And not so at that time, a lot of organization come to that they are interested to publish our book because they saw that even ERI has not able to do a good publication on the invasive apple snail. So your Philippine Rice Research Institute, together with other collaborators around. So there is a chapter in the book from Indonesia also in this book, and from Dr. Marawati and others. They are in this book. And these books are all, you can download them for free on internet. You don't have to pay anything. So I just want to show you the latest book. You can see there are 9 chapters in the book. There are 21 authors from around the world from 8 countries. So these are the first section of the book. The second section of the book is about the country report. So you have reports from different countries. In the old book, there is a chapter from Indonesia, but in the new book, we have chapters from other countries where the reports are new. So there are 8 chapters, there are 29 authors, and there are 7 countries. So you can imagine how to collaborate and network with so many people around the world on this invasive apple snail. Then the third one is how to manage the snail and how to use them. So there are 5 chapters. There are 17 authors and 6 countries. So if you look at the whole book, there are 22 chapters with 67 authors around the world from 17 countries. So that's a lot of coordination and networking and partnership. And I think this book will be revised maybe after another 10 years because a lot of new information will come by in the next 10 years, which we can together revise together. And I encourage students to focus on managing the snails in direct seeded rice because nowhere in the world, we are now working on direct seeded rice. The indirect seeded rice to manage snail is very difficult because it cannot differentiate between the rice and the weed. So it eat everything. So, I encourage some of the students that are doing research, you work on invasive apple snails in direct seeded rice, and you will be world famous person because there is no information that is available. And I'm happy to help if you need my help to advise you on how to go about it. So these books are free, of course. You can download them from internet. There are links. I'll actually send you all the presentation so you can copy these links and download the book for free. So we work with a lot of people. You see there is a paper on invasive apple snail Pomacea species in Indonesia. We have from Vietnam. We have from Malaysia. So almost all the countries around the world. And recently, CABI hired me in 2021 to write how to manage the snails in East Africa in Kenya, because that was the first time that the snails attacked in Kenya. And then we have the CABI has a compendium. I encourage all of you to look at this compendium because it gives a lot of information. The student doesn't have to go to the library and look for references about invasive apple snails or other invasive species. Just go to this compendium. There are two compendiums, the Cabby crop compendium and the invasive species compendium. And both of them are very useful for students and researchers because you can save time to look for references. And this is, and I also contribute a lot of information on these databases. So if you look at this global invasive database, I have a lot of information about the invasive apple snail in these databases. So these are different databases. And so the most important part of my talk is how can we collaborate? How can we partner? Because, if you work on invasive alien species, you cannot work alone because you need a lot of resources. You need a lot of researchers with different disciplines to work together and not only work within the university or within an organization, but you also work with different regional, national, and international organizations. And today, ERI comes anytime there is a problem of snails, ERI invites me to advise different countries on how to manage the snails. Same thing last week. Last 2 weeks back, I was in Thailand to give a special training on invasive alien species, especially on invasive apple snails and rodents in the rice fields. So the Ministry of Agriculture there invited me to give a 2-day training on that. So I can share also some of the training materials that were developed there. So this is just to show you that when you are working in snails, how many countries I have collaborated, how many countries researchers I have collaborated. Now, if we look in Indonesia, I think you may be knowing some of them because they are very famous people, like Dr. Marawote. She is with the Indonesian. She is the best taxonomist to identify the snails in the world. She is working on invasive apple snail. Together, we are working together. Then there are other Sotikno. There are also other researchers, all from Indonesia. And like this Hindarish Suharto, she wrote a report about the invasive apple snail in my first book on the golden apple snail. That the first book that I showed you. She wrote a chapter there, and I can share that chapter also with you. I will send you the link of that book. I forgot to put that link of the old book link because the new book has an up-to-date information. So, even if you look in the Asian countries, even if you look in the Asian countries, you can imagine I work with so many countries in the Asian region, and not only in Asian region, even in UK, Europe, Sri Lanka also. We have very good Dr. Professor Epa. He is a well-known person on invasive species in Sri Lanka. And so I work very closely with all of these people around the world. So similarly, when I work on other invasive species like rodents and all, I also develop a lot of information which is specific to the Philippines, but now used in many countries. Same thing with the leaf miner flies in vegetables. I was a consultant for the International Potato Center because they had a problem of leaf miner fly, which is also an invasive species. And of course, the partnership is very important because without partnership, you cannot work on invasive species alone. So these are some of the partnership that now we are working very closely with so many people. They are coming to us because, we are the first people to find fall armyworm in rice, and it is spreading all over the Philippines from the north going down to the central, and now probably will reach the south of the Philippines very soon. So, one thing I want to tell you very important. I think sometime when we work, we think that we are working with the national organization or national university. But, you know, I observe that if you have innovation, if you have something new ideas, and you develop your program based on those new ideas, which nobody else has done, you will become a pioneer. So, you know, when you are, even when you are a student, don't ever think that, oh, I don't have a PhD and how can I do like this? No. So, you know, you have to think global whenever you are working as a researcher. You think global, but you act local. That means you develop technologies that your farmers or your country needs it. And you know, this is what we have done in the Philippines. You know, I when I work with the Philippine Rice Research Institute, me and my team developed techniques which, you know, even the international institutes have not developed. So, you know, now our work goes global. So we have to think in a global way, but we need to develop technologies that are locally acceptable to our farmers and never give up. That is the most important thing. So my contacts are here and on my slide. You are most welcome to contact me, especially students or researchers that are working on not only on rice but also on vegetables and other food crops. Most welcome to contact me, and I'll be happy to assist. If you have any questions, I'm open for any clarification. Thank you once again for this opportunity, and it was a pleasure to talk to share my experiences with you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ravinda Joshi, for your excellent and comprehensive presentation. So before we have Q&A session, I think we have one in the chat room, yeah. But maybe for me, I just wondering, maybe I have one question, yeah, for you. This one is uh, it's about the impact of a snail species invasive in the global economy. There is like 1.5 trillion, yeah, annually the wastage from invasive of snail, and also almost close to 5% of annual
GDP.
GDP, yeah? GDP, global GDP. There's a very huge actual amount for the impact from the invasive species alien in the
Yeah.
farmer. Right? So just wondering that's the expense of the species alien here is for the cost for economically for the using the pesticide, or maybe there's something like harmful for the land, or something like in
Yeah.
the production for the reduce the production of the rice, or maybe the
Okay.
for economically for the farmer.
Yeah.
Being there is no maybe because of the invasive alien, there's like the cost for the farmer is being high. Let me please.
So just to give you a clarification,
Okay.
that shows the the impact of invasive alien species in terms of revenues, in terms of money.
Okay.
So
Okay.
what's happening is that there are many invasive species, not only invasive apple snails, but this is a total of the global invasive species, how much they are causing loss in terms of $1.4 trillion, right? Yeah. So these most of the time, these losses are either based on the crop losses or losses that the farmers are losing money. Okay. but very few assessment outside the US or outside the Europe has been done to add on to the impact of the invasive species in terms of cost, in terms of environmental impacts. So the environmental impacts and the health impact of the farmer is not yet into consideration. So you can imagine if all of that is added, then the cost will be even much higher.
I see. Yeah, because this is 5% from GDP also is a huge amount.
Huge.
For, yeah, very huge. I mean, for the expected for invasive species in the farmer. Thank you very much, Dr. Rafina Joshi. As you know, we have also question. Yeah,
Sure.
In the chat room here. Let me read for the question from Nurfianto Giar Pangidung. Right, this is from Malang. I think. Question from Dr. Ravi. One, currently the Indonesian government is opening up millions of hectares of peat and swampland for food security program or food estates such as Merauke, Papua, Borneo, Sumatra. So can it be said that this program has opened up the opportunity for risk of the simultaneous creating ideal ecological needs for EIS, yeah, with pest and disease and human disease factor? What is the vector-borne disease risk of converting fast wetland into irrigated perimeter? So the question is like, what is the vector-borne disease risk for converting fast wetland into irrigated perimeter? The second one, how to design and govern rice landscape as managed ecosystem whose primary function is to be inherently resistant to invasion of EIS while ensuring food security and human health amidst the impact of climate change. Thank you. You can.
Yeah, these two questions are very good. You know, I know the Indonesian government is expanding in the areas, especially the swamp areas for food production. I've seen that. Even you are increasing mining areas to make it more productive in Indonesia, because I was in Biotrop. I heard a presentation there that there are some researchers who are looking at how to increase the production not only of the food but also animal production in mining areas, in peat areas, and all that. So I think that's very important step that Indonesia is doing. I think very important is to, now we have a lot of information. If you look at the databases from other countries, especially in swamp areas, what are the common invasive species that are present in mangrove and also in swamp areas? So I think it's very important to do risk assessment. You cannot say that we will not develop those areas. I think very important is how to assess the risk in those areas. And second important thing that is more important than assessing the risk after risk assessment is to prepare early preparedness plan. That is very important. So invasive species will always be there, but how to manage them without relying too much on chemicals will be the main focus of the research that is needed in these areas. So in terms of vector-borne diseases, of course, vector-borne diseases like mosquito-borne diseases and other vectors like parasites and all. Of course, again, there are areas on how you can prepare a risk assessment plan to reduce the problems of these vector-borne diseases. And actually, many countries are already doing it now. because we cannot just fold our hands and say we are not going to open these areas, because we need to produce more in a sustainable way, and at the same time, which is the invasive species management will become very crucial, not only in new areas that we are opening, but also in areas where there is already production. I hope I have answered the question.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Joshi. I think, yeah, because he is typing in the chat room, so I don't know he's still here or, yeah, but I
Okay.
think, yeah, it's ready. Thank
Yeah.
you. Ready. We are, reply your
Yeah.
greeting. Yeah. Thank you, Dr.
So
Joshi.
I have one suggestion is that I have provided the PDF copy of my presentation. I
Okay.
already sent it to the link. I
Okay.
already sent it to the link. So please download the link, and my contact details are there. And any student or any researcher or anyone who like to collaborate, uh, we can work together to address the areas of invasive species, not only invasive apple snail, but also other invasive species that I work on.
Yeah, thank you very much. You give our opportunity to make collaboration international like this, yeah, or we can have some another collaboration in the next future, yeah, Dr. Joshi.
Yeah, yeah,
You already share your contact in the PPT and PDF you have shared to the
yeah,
audience. Yeah? So maybe
yeah.
we have one more question from Dr. Indah Puspita Jati. She is already raised hand in the Zoom. Okay, Dr. Indah Puspita Jati, yeah, you can ask your question.
Okay,
Okay.
good morning, Dr. Josie. Thank you for your nice presentation. And since your presentation was very comprehensive and also clearly delivered, maybe I will not ask so further question about the technical content because you have a very limited time. So may I ask my question in this moment, right? Based on your experience, what form of collaboration do you think would be most suitable between your institution maybe and our institution, Polbangtan Yoma? Polbangtan Yoma brings together experts from various disciplines, including agriculture. We have also expert in agribusiness, food technology, and also extension services, and also human resource development. Perhaps you have any suggestion on the next step or maybe strategy to make global collaboration. Thank you.
Okay. When we talk of collaboration, I always starts with the zero budget. I always start with a zero budget. Even when I wrote my books, I did not have a single money to publish these books, you know. But when we work with so many people and see the seriousness, so I promise to them that though we do not have money, but once we are ready with all our chapters, I will make sure that we will find money to get this thing done, not from my institute, but from outside. So you know what happened when we developed the whole book, it was already ready. So I told our director was very smart. He wrote a letter to FAO, he wrote a letter to ERI and sent a copy of our copy ready book and said, would you like to join hands to publish this book? So these people, they got so serious. They say, oh, this book is already complete. So we only have to give them little money. But at the end, we got so much money that the printing of the book was, we even got additional money. So what I'm saying is, the most important is that first we need to identify, Dr. Enda, is that what exactly we want to do, what others have not done. So we need innovation in our project. So once we have innovation, the money will come. Money will come. You know, same thing happened in Solomon Islands when I was working there. I came out with a book on recipes of indigenous vegetables that the old people, they cannot read and write, but they can talk. So we recorded their speech, and you know, we wrote a book, but all the recipes we put the names of the people who shared. The old women, 80 years old, 90 years old people, they shared, and we put their names in those recipes. And when during the World Food Day, when the World Food Day representative came to the ministry, I I said, you know, we are planning to publish a book on this, and he said, oh, this is a great idea. Are you ready? I said, yeah, we are already ready, but we do not have money to print it. And then he said, okay, please see me in my office tomorrow. When I went after the World Food Day, he saw the book and he immediately published it. And what I mean to say, that book became so famous that even all the hospitals, all the other Pacific Island countries, they reprinted the book. So what I mean to say, we need to come out with some innovative, something that is very important for your country. I think, you know, if we work on, for example, if we work on, so I can help you in a few ways. First is in terms of, you know, I can help you to if you have an idea, you share with me, then I can see how we can make it better. That's number one. The second is that I can also link to your organization or your ministry or school, polytechnic, to other universities in the Philippines and other universities also in other countries where I am a visiting professor. So you can have collaboration. I also introduce you to some global networks that I am involved in. And I am also willing to do online teaching, especially on research method, how to do research, how to publish. You know, nowadays I am helping a lot of young researchers publish their paper, not only from Philippines, but also from Pakistan, from Indonesia. Just yesterday, one of the Indonesian paper also published in a Scopus journal. But I think, you know, it's very important. You have a journal. How can we make your journal stronger? That is, you know, so that it become a Scopus journal. So I think those are the areas I can do it for. I can help you in those areas because I have experience in these areas. Yeah. Yeah. And of course, we can also jointly write some proposals for funding. You know, the funding can either come from international organization or maybe from your science and technology, Ministry of Science and Technology in Indonesia or some. So what's important is that we need to come out with some good idea, some new idea that, you know, the funding agency interested with us. But in terms of the universities, no problem. I will assist you to develop MOU with several universities that I'm connected with. Yeah. I hope I'm not, what I can do is I can say. What I cannot do, I will not tell you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jesse. I got it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Enda Puspajayati and Dr. Vinda Joshi. I think this is the end of our presentation today. Actually, I want to make conclusion, but because of time, yeah, because we have one more speaker
Speaker.
today. Yeah, because I think we are already past the time also, but it's okay. This is very good, insightful, fruitfully for us for the presentation today. So thank you very much,
Thank
Dr.
you so
Rahmat.
much. Thank you.
We wish you happy success, and we can make a collaboration on the next future with us. Thank you
Thank
very
you
much,
so much.
Dr.
Thank you.
Nandesi. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
So for the next presentation, I think because of the time also, we invite Dr. Mutu Bandage Mahinda Herat. Are you there, Dr. Herat? Dr.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Mahinda Herat, right? We call you Mahinda, right? Or
Yes, sir.
Dr. Herat?
Yes. No, yes. Mahinda is
Mahinda or
okay.
Dr. Herat? Dr.
Mahinda.
Mahinda, right? Oh, okay.
Mahinda is
Sorry.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's familiar for me.
And I'm sorry because we have limited time also, yeah, because we actually until 12. But it's okay. It's up to you for the presentation today. But before we start for the presentation, maybe let me read maybe just few of your CV, yeah, for your CV. Dr. Mutu Bandagi Mahdia Herat, the full name. He is head of Technology Transfer Division, National Institute of Post Harvest Management, Anuradhapura, Sri Lanka, right, Doctor?
Yes.
Yeah. Dr. Mutu Bandangi Mahindra Herat is senior agriculture professional, researcher, and extension expert with more than 16 years of experience in post harvest. Right? Technology, agriculture extension, community development, and technology dimension in Sri Lanka. He is currently serves as head of the Technology Transfer Division at the National Institute of Post-Harvest Management (NIPHM) Anuradhapura, Anu, Anuradhapura. Yeah. Previously, he is working over 14 years as extension officer. Okay, leading farmer training, outreach program, and technology adoption initiative across the agriculture sector. Dr. Herat hold PhD in Community Development from University Putra Malaysia (UPM) and MSc in Development Communication and Extension from the University of Peradeniya, Sri Lanka, and BSc Special in Agriculture from Rajarata University of Sri Lanka, majoring in horticulture crop production. He has extensive international training experience in post-harvest technology and food processing, including programs supported by FAO, Egyptian International Center for Agriculture, and training in Indonesia. He also experienced in visiting lecture in post-harvest technology at university and technical college in Sri Lanka and Malaysia. Dr. Herat has authored and co-authored numerous peer-reviewed journal article and international conference paper focusing on post-harvest loss reduction, technology adoption, farmer empowerment, agriculture extension system, and sustainable agriculture development. Yeah. His expertise include post-harvest technology, value adding, sustainable and organic agriculture, agriculture extension, and community development. He has many, and also youth empowerment and agribusiness. Dr. Herat is active in member of several professional and international organizations, including the International Association for Community Development in UK and the Sri Lanka Agriculture Extension Agency. Yeah, this is the short CV for the Dr. Herat. Yeah, it's many expertise in the some field. So today, Dr. Mahinda Herat will give us this presentation. The title is Youth as the Future of Agriculture, Innovation, Entrepreneur, and Sustainability. Yeah. Dr. Herat, are you ready for the presentation, right?
Yes, sir. Could I
Yes.
share my slide, please?
Oh, yeah. You can already share or not? Not yet. Ready, right?
Yes. Yeah, ready. I can
Yeah, you
share.
can share, right? Yeah. Okay, Dr. Herat, before we start, we just give us some introduction for Dr. Mahendra Herat. Youth are the future of agriculture in the face of climate change and food security challenge. And rapid technological advance, young people play a crucial role in driving innovation, entrepreneurship, and sustainability in the agriculture sector. By embracing digital agriculture, smart farming, technological, and sustainable practice, youth agripreneurs are transforming agriculture into a dynamic, resilient, and attractive sector. Empowering youth with knowledge, skill, and opportunity is essential to build sustainable food system and ensure long-term agriculture development. Yeah. Okay, Dr. Mahindra, I think for the introduction from me, finish. So time issue, yeah, Dr. Mahindra.
Okay. Okay. Uh, Thank you, sir, and good morning and assalamu alaikum, all of you, and welcome the all prop doctors and all officers on behalf of the international webinar, and all participants who are participating today the international webinar. And first of all, I would like to give my sincere gratitude for the Dr. Ravi Joshi and for the interesting and more informative presentation. And so onwards, I would like to share some informations and new strategies regarding these topics, right? Actually, it is an honor to speak on how youth can shape the future of the agriculture, right? It's the true innovative entrepreneurship and sustainability, right? Today, now I am going to explore some uh, informations regarding the global population of the youth and what type of challenges that are uh, faced by the youth in the agriculture sector, and what are the opportunities youth can use to involve in the agriculture to create the better future for our agriculture. So without focusing on the youth involvement, we can't see the future of our agriculture, right? So thanks for the Dr. Enda to given me this opportunity to share this more informative topics, right? So before to start, actually I would like to do some simple definitions regarding the innovation, entrepreneurship, and sustainability, right? So when we focus on the innovation, actually innovation is the process of introducing new ideas or introducing new methods or introducing new techniques, right? So simply we can define doing something new to solve some problems, right? So based on the presentation of the Dr. Ravi, right, actually it's the innovation to how to control the apple snake, right? So the based on the innovation process, the lot of youth can involve to build up our agriculture, right? Next key term is the entrepreneurship. Actually, entrepreneurship is the ability to identify the opportunities and calculate the challenges and risks what we are facing, we are doing the agricultural activities, and create some business or entrepreneurship, especially to earn income, right? The simply we can define is the turning an idea into profitable business or entrepreneurship, right? The last key terms is the sustainability. When we focus on the sustainability, we can use in our existing resources wisely, and we have the big responsible to save for our future. Right, so based on these more informative areas, shall we discuss how the youth, as a youth, they can involve in our agriculture sector. So this is the some self-introduction behind me, and thanks Mohammed give me the lot of introduction regarding the me. Right. So the according to the Food and Agricultural Organization, we call FAO, the average age of farmers worldwide is around 16 years. Right. That means the average age of our older peoples, right, who are engaging in the agriculture is reaching to 16 years. That's the huge problem is creating in the agriculture sector. Even Sri Lanka, not only Sri Lanka, but also other all regions of the world, right? Therefore, there's a urgent need. We need to approach to encourage more youth to enter the sector, because a lot of people who are working in the agriculture, it is reached 16 years old. Therefore, we need to change this perspective, and we can introduce some new methods to how to involve the youth in our agriculture sector, right? So first of all, shall we focus on the current existing informations regarding the youth population, right? Normally, the 1.2 billion youth are represented in the world wide, and the population of the world people is forecasting it will be reach 9 billion at the 2015, right? So then at that time, the youth population is also increasing 1.2, 1.3 billion in the world, right? When we focus on the different continent in the world, the Africa is the represent high population of the youth, right? It is the 40% of the population is representing the Africa, and the second place is the South Asia. It is the 30% of the youth population, and the Europe is given the low youth population. It is around 10 to 12%. So the youth population growth is higher in Africa and South Asia, while decline in the Europe. But when we focus on the South Asia, Southeast Asia, I think it is included the Indonesia and Malaysia. It is around 23%. Right, based on this information, actually the average farmer is nearly retirement, right? Because when we are working in the government sector, our retirement age is around 60 years. But when we focus on the existing agriculture sector in the world, it is nearly close to 55 to 60 years of the age of our agricultural people, right? When we focus on the Japan, it is reaching at 67 years old. That means the most elderly peoples who are working in the agriculture at the Japan, and other country also is similar. The most of peoples who are working in the agriculture, their age limit is, the average age limit is around 55 to 60%. But in here, what is the problem? The problem is youth generation is turning away from the agriculture, and they are always seeking for the service sector job opportunities. Right. Therefore, based on this information, the 45%, 9% youth involvement in the services sector, and we can identify 30.5% of the youth involvement in the agriculture sector. Right. So when we focus on the African region, right, normally 10 to 12 million youth enter the labor market annually, right? They are trying to find out some formal jobs, and only 3 million youth have the right to find out the formal job. So then what we can do the rest of the youth, because normally 10 to 12 million of youth annually are entered to the job market, but only 3 million of youth can find out some formal jobs. Then rest of 10 to 7 to 10 million of youth, they can't do anything. Therefore, normally they turn to agriculture as a last option of their life, right? So then our rural economy must absorb this youth population, because normally they are coming to our agriculture sector as their final option. Therefore, we need to create the best platform for the youth population, right? With changing the existing agricultural practices, right? Especially when we are focusing on the Indonesia and Malaysia, also facing some problems regarding the youth involvement in the agricultural sector, right? It is continuously decreasing of the youth involvement of the agricultural activities. Therefore, shall we discuss what are the challenges that we are facing to youth are avoiding in the agricultural sector, right? Because the most of youth are not willing to engage in the agricultural activities, right? But definitely we can absorb those youth human resource to our agricultural practices. So in here, I would like to focus in your attention for the most important challenges that I have mentioned in here. The first one is the perception gap. Normally, youth are not ready to involve in the agricultural activities, right? Due to low status of the agricultural activities, right? It's a widespread perception of agriculture as a traditional, laborious, and unprofitable, right? In our existing agriculture is not more attractive for the youth generation. That's why our existing agricultural practices are using some traditional methods, right? Normally they are using the simple equipments. There are no any chance for the use of the modern equipments and machinery, right? Therefore, the young generation are not willing to engage due to low status of the agricultural practices. The second most important challenge is limited access to land and capital, right? So if there are some youth generations, they are willing to involve the agricultural practices, but they are facing some problems due to find out some enough land, as well as they need to invest sufficient capital to find out some land, to find out some fertilizer, or find out some the recommended seeds or whatever things. Therefore, due to lack of land facilities as well as need to invest high capital, the lot of youth are not willing to involve in the agricultural practices. The third one is the outdated methods. In our existing agricultural practices, there are not used too much of modern equipments. Our elderly farmers normally they are using simple equipments to prepare the land preparation, or sometime to provide the fertilizer, or apply some chemicals, right? So based on these methods, the youth generation are not willing to engage in the agricultural practices, right? Because they are always thinking white collar job, right? They are, if we can apply modern equipments, modern machineries, and modern techniques in our agriculture, definitely the most of youth can engage in our agricultural practices. The next one is weak market linkage, right? Normally, all of us are facing this problem. If we have good quality product by cultivating whether it is cereal or whether it is fruits and vegetable, we have good quality and quantity products. But due to weak market facilities, we cannot get the sufficient profit, right? Therefore, it is also the one kind of difficulties in assessing reliable and profitable market for products, right? The last one, climate and environmental risks, growing uncertainty due to climate change impact on farming, right? Uh, all of us, we have some experience during our harvesting season. Definitely, we are facing some adverse weather condition or due to some rainy seasons. Then we cannot protect our harvested products. or even during the sowing period or land preparation period, we can face some flooded conditions, right? Or sometime during the pre-harvesting practices, spread some pest and disease rapidly. Then we are unable to control those kind of environmental and climatic factors, right? So these are the five main important challenges, right? Definitely directly and indirectly affect for the youth they are avoiding in the agricultural sector, right? So let's we discuss what are the opportunities, right, that we can use for our youth to solve those barriers. The first one, the law status due to bad perception. Then we can introduce agri-entrepreneurship opportunities to create new business model by introducing new technologies or new equipments or new machineries into our agricultural sector, right? So just most of our farmers, they are trying to cultivate some of crops and try to get some yield, right? It is a dependency agriculture. Not they are always focusing on the business-based agriculture, right? Therefore, youth can focus to build up new agro and entrepreneurship opportunities based on this context. The next problem is the access to capital and land. Therefore, as an opportunity, we can introduce agri-tech and digital tools to modernize methods and boost efficiency, right? So the most of youth are very friendly to use the digital-based platforms, and they are willing to use a lot of digital-based tools. Therefore, this kind of technologies we can introduce into our agricultural sector, right? Let me give some example. We can introduce drip irrigation for the conventional irrigation methods, or we can introduce some the robotic based harvesting equipments, right? I'm pretty sure the Israel has been developed some the robotic harvesting equipments to harvest the apple fruits based on the maturity indices of the apple. The Israel scientist has been developed some robotic based arm to harvest the apple fruits, right? So that kind of technologies we can introduce to our agriculture sector, as well as digital based tools. I will explain in later also. This kind of tools we can use as a new opportunity for the highly engagement of the youth. Second one is the outdated methods, right? Sometimes most of the farmers, they are trying to produce the some harvest, and they are trying to just sell it to the market without given some value addition. But actually, we can add some value for our harvested products. As example, if there are fruits as harvested products, then we can add some values for the fresh fruits, right? So then we can prepare some fruit jam, fruit cordial, or fruit drink, and we can sell or we can market the final product as at the market. Uh, if not, we cannot get the sufficient profit in our agriculture. The next one is the next problem is the market linkage. So actually, we can focus on the export-oriented market. Like most of countries, actually nowadays we are focusing on the export-oriented market. I think even Indonesia also trying to focus on the export-oriented market. Even Sri Lanka also we are trying to sell our product based on the export-oriented. Normally in here, we can identify two types of the market segment, a local and export market, right? So in the Local market also we can find out some supermarket channel to sell our high quality products, as well as we can find out or we can catch up new export oriented market to sell our high quality products. Then we can uh, create the good platform to engage for our youth based on our experience, right? Because we are working in the post-harvest sector in Sri Lanka. The lot of youth are coming to engage in the post-harvest sector to produce value addition products, as well as to focus on the export-oriented based. So next one is the climate risks barrier. So in here, actually, we can introduce some polytunnel house for our agriculture to control the environmental factors, because in the outside agriculture is facing so many problems, right, due to adverse weather conditions as well as the rapid pest and disease attack. So to control those things, actually we can introduce some climate smart agriculture to control some of climatic factors such as temperature and RH. Even we can control the pest and disease also by introducing the climate smart agriculture. So therefore, actually we can turn crisis to catalyzed, right? So far we have discussed so many crises based on our existing agricultural situations, right? Those problems are directly affect for the uh, turning of the youth from our agriculture. Then actually we can turn into catalyzed, because youth are the answer to our future agriculture. Therefore, without engaging of the youth in our agriculture sector, we cannot see in our future of the agriculture, right? Therefore, the confronted by the aging farmers, technological shift and climate stress, the global food system require transformation. Youth are unique position to lead it, because youth are drivers of change as well as innovation. Always youth generation are try to test new things. They are try to do some new things. Therefore, this energy we can use to change of our agriculture sector. Other thing is the youth are the digital native generation, ready to adapt new technology. Therefore, the new technology are coming based on the digital based. Therefore, this kind of technologies or this kind of machines and equipments we can introduce easily for our youth generations. The next one, the youth bring an entrepreneurship mindset to solve all problems. Right. At the end of this session, I will share some success stories. Then actually, the lot of youth are engaging as a entrepreneurship mindset to solve the existing problems in our agriculture sector, as well as the youth are essential for building sustainable system and ensuring future food security, right? So this therefore these are the some innovative toolkits that we can use to uh, highly engage of youth in our agriculture sector. So let's we discuss one by one what type of innovative toolkits that we can use in our agriculture sector. So the first one is the precision agriculture using donor, sensor, and IoT, Internet of Things to real-time monitoring. Normally, this kind of technologies are coming based on the extension 5.0. The probably Japan are also trying to use this kind of technologies, but the most of other countries actually we are using extension 4.0, especially focusing on the mobile solution and AI based solutions. Therefore, in our future agriculture, actually we can focus to apply precision agriculture in our day-to-day activities, right? So especially nowadays, some of countries, they are using some drone techniques to spray some chemicals or fertilizer, right? Sometimes some donors, they are using uh, to detect the pest and disease of their orchard, right? But actually it is not sufficient level. Therefore, we need to increase this kind of precision agriculture in our future, right? Then if we can build up the facilities to use the precision agriculture in our future, definitely we can highly involvement of our youth. The second one is the mobile solution, especially developing and using mobile apps to get the market informations or sometime to share some extension informations or technology disseminations. We are also using some type of mobile based solutions, right? Especially in creating some WhatsApp group. Actually, it is the most prominent methods nowadays. So then we can create some the good platform to create some social media based platforms, right? Then because most of youth generation are willingness to use that kind of technologies, then we can use those technologies in our agriculture sector. But in our uh, uh, because our older farmers, they are not willing to use this kind of technologies. But mobile solution we can introduce for our youth farming generation to get the existing update regarding the market informations, right? What is the price of their products today, right? And as well as what type of raw materials that they can find out, right? Then when I studied in the Malaysia, right, there are some strong WhatsApp groups they have developed based on the specific crops, right? So at that specific WhatsApp group, there are so many stakeholders such as farmers, raw material suppliers, transporters, buyers, and exporters, even consumer. Then if some farmers they are cultivating some durian crops, then they can sell their durian within easily because they can put some message in the WhatsApp group. I have 10 kilogram of this kind of fruits and I need to sell it. This is my fruit, this kind of qualities that I have of my fruits. Then the buyers can get those fruits, right, within short time, because we can cut off middleman of our supply chain. Next one is the control environment. Actually, nowadays we are facing adverse weather conditions. Therefore, we can introduce some the techniques to control the environment that we need to grow our crops, right? Especially, we can introduce some polytunnel cultivation, right? So to control the temperature and RH, as well as we can do some hydroponics techniques to cultivate some leafy vegetables. Right, I will show some success case study regarding the hydroponic cultivations in the African regions. As well as we can use some big data as well as AI technologies for our agricultural practices. Especially if we can manage the big data in our agriculture sector, we can develop some digital twins concept, right? So then, based on the digital twin concepts, we can forecast the future, right? Let me give some example. If we can collect the data regarding the prices of our fruits and vegetable for a 10 years or 20 years, right? Based on the specific of the fruits or vegetable. Then those informations we can put into the software, and we can predict in our future price forecasting, right? And the next week, what is the price fluctuation of the particular crop, right? Such kind of technologies actually we can use in our agriculture sector. The next most important thing is innovation tool is post-house innovations. Actually, our agriculture we can divide into main two types: pre-harvesting and post-harvesting. Most of farmers and most of youth are focusing only for the pre-harvesting practices. They are not give high attention for the post-harvest activities or post-harvest supply chain. But if we can focus on our attention to the post-harvest sector, there are so many entrepreneurship opportunities to engage our youth generation. So therefore, beyond the farm grade, these are the new entrepreneurship opportunities and models that we can use of our youth. Right. First one, we can use smart greenhouse. Actually, it is not the just simple greenhouse to control our climatic conditions. Actually, we can introduce smart greenhouse uh, models to control a lot of climatic factors such as temperature, RH, or even check the fertilizer level of the soil and detect some pest and disease inside of the greenhouse areas, right? Next one, we can introduce some technologies to produce value addition products of our agricultural crops, right? Especially if we can introduce value addition products for youth, definitely they can engage to our agricultural process. So then if we can introduce some produce new value-added products such as dehydration products or minimal processing of fruits and vegetable, or even food-based products, right? As well as we can introduce new post-harvest technologies from harvesting to consumption, right? Consumption. Then actually most of farmers, they are using some gunny bags or polysac bag or even wood crates to collect their fruits. Then if they are using polythene bag to collect their harvested product, especially fruits and vegetable, it is given huge post-harvest losses, right? Therefore, in this context, we can introduce some plastic crates to uh, collect the fruits and vegetable, and we can minimize the post-harvest losses, right? As well as we can introduce some new post-harvest technologies, how to prepare, how to store our fruits and vegetable based on the cold supply chain. Unfortunately, a lot of Asian countries, they are unable to practice this kind of technologies. Normally, based on our temperature and RH, definitely Asian region countries, they must apply sufficient cold supply chain facilities for fruits and vegetable, right? So if we can apply those kind of techniques, right, we can minimize the post-house losses, as well as it is create some entrepreneurship opportunities for the youth farmers. Next one.
Sorry, Dr. Mendra, 10 minutes more, yeah?
Okay,
So,
okay,
yeah,
sorry. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
no problem. Yes.
As well as actually we can introduce some digital marketplace for the youth generation. So nowadays, digital marketplace are most popular in the youth generation, even us, right? So then this kind of market platforms we can introduce for our youth generation. Then they can uh, engage in our agricultural sector. So this the some kind of steps regarding the post-house supply chain. So from especially from harvesting to consumption, including harvesting, collecting, transportation, storage based on the coal storage, and primary and secondary processing and packaging. This kind of technologies we can introduce to our youth generation by introducing our technologies. and definitely they will engage in our agricultural sector. Building an ecosystem for success, what are the key strategies that we can use to empower our young farmers, right? Especially we can aware them well by education and mentorship, right? So if we can practice good extension services to disseminate the proper technologies for our youth, definitely they can change their mindset and they can return to our agricultural practices. As well as we can introduce some technology incubation process, right? So if some youth, they have to plan to involve in the agricultural sector or some entrepreneurship activities, then based on the technology incubation process, they can get the A to Z technical knowledge, right? Next one, access to finance. Because the lot of farmers, they are facing to find out sufficient finance to involve the agricultural practices, even youth generation. So in the government and private organization should create the good platform to get the sufficient finance for the agricultural activities. The next one is the land access, right? So if we can provide enough land access to the youth generations, they can involve in our agricultural practices. So based on the government involvement, we can strengthen our extension services, right? Especially to focusing on the youth generation. We can develop some new extension module or extension strategies to discuss with the young farmers and introduce new technologies for them and request to come back to agricultural activities. So finally, the agrifinance mindset, we can change what it takes to succeed, right? So innovation mindset is the most important for our young generation. And we need to develop some collaborative network for them, right? To provide some technologies and other supportive things, and we need to develop some proper market for our young generation, whether it is local or international market or even online market. And we should provide some sufficient access to information to get novel technologies for our young farmers, as well as we should give some support to identify the risk-taking behavior of our agriculture sector. Then finally, youth must become a agri leader, right? Not just farmer, right? If youth are thinking do just farmer, actually it is not fit for our future agriculture sector. Definitely, we must try to youth become agri leader to create a lot of jobs in our agriculture sector. So based on limited time period, I will share some success stories regarding this topic, right? So this is the most important and most interesting success stories in Sri Lanka based on the mango supply chain, right? So in Sri Lanka, mango supply chain is doing as a family-based business. It is transformed generation to generation, right? So in this context, right, in our Sri Lankan government institutes, especially in the Ministry of Agriculture, we introduced new technologies for their young generation, right? Uh, this the founder, right? So normally they are collecting their mango and just sell to local market, right? So then we met their young son and discuss and introduce new technologies, how to produce mango-based pulp or mango-based fruit RTS or jam or sauce, right? Then those sons are involved in our project, and now he has developed new business forum, right? So now this young man is sell their mango fruits for a export market as well as local markets with creating some value addition, right? So this the next case study. The husband and wife is around 25 to 27 years old, right? And they have start up the family business to build up some Ceylon berries, right? So this is the another good example regarding the involvement of the youth youth generation in the agriculture sector. In our agriculture ministry, just introduce the technology and provide some subsidized programs for them, and they have started their own business. So even this also the one kind of example. I will share these informations. You can read and get those information. This is the another example to control the climatic conditions by introducing some greenhouse cultivation for our vegetable farmers. Then actually we can get highly youth involvement after introducing this kind of technologies, and they got sufficient income by involving this kind of agricultural activities. So this is the another success stories how to involve in the youth generation based on the South Africa. This the founder Sandil Kumbola is a 20 years old lady, right? So what is the challenge point is in here to find out sufficient water in the African region, and based on her educational background, she started new business model to cultivate lettuce by using using what we call the agroponics, right? So then now she can sell their products to the local and international market, as well as now she is doing some training officer to introduce new technologies for the youth generation. Finally, empowering youth is the single most vital strategy for the national food security. When youth become an agri leader, they do more than just grow food. They modernize the entire agriculture system, build climate resilience, create widespread economic opportunities, and secure a national ability to feed itself for generation to come. So finally, the future of agriculture is youthful, digital, and sustainable. A strategic argument for empowering a new generation to drive innovation, entrepreneurship, and food security. Definitely, we can create a better future for our agriculture sector. So to create, if we want to create the better future of our agriculture, definitely we need to engagement of our youth. So to engage of our youth, we can introduce digital based agricultural system for them. Therefore, thank you so much for giving this opportunity me to share some information regarding this point. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mahinda Herat, for the presentation. It's very clear, yeah, very fruitfully for us to the your presentation today, yeah. Let's we start for the question and answer session. Any question from the audience to direct ask to Dr. Mahinda? Who will ask? Oh, Endah, Dr. Endah, yeah. Silahkan, silah. Let's Dr. Endah to give a question. Before we move to the chat room, there's two question. Okay, Dr. Endah, let's.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. Good morning, Dr. Herat.
Good
This is
morning.
very interesting topic And we know that the issue about the farmer regeneration has become a major challenge in almost all countries around the world, also in our country, Indonesia. And several efforts have been implemented by the Ministry of Agriculture Indonesia to increase the young people interest in agriculture. We have so many programs, our ministry programs. The first is about the millennial farmer programs. And now we have a very famous program in our country, the food budget program. So Indonesian Ministry of Agriculture also manage so many vocational higher agricultural uh, school, also polytechnics, such as our institution Polbangtan. However, this effort have not been sufficient, I think, to significantly increase the young people interest in working and also doing business in agricultural sector. So I think millennial horticultural farmers in our country already increased, but we found that hardly increase in young farmers in the food crop sector in our country. I don't know in your country. And in our country also, agriculture is still widely perceived as an unpromising sector associated with the dirty work and also low income, particularly in upstream. Okay, maybe in downstream process, we can find a lot of millennial agriculture, young farmer in our country. But in upstream, until now, we cannot find so many farmer in upstream process, particularly in paddy or in food crop sector. Um, you already told us about your experience in your country. Maybe you can share the strategies that you already implement in your country in Sri Lanka, how to increase the young people interest in working in agriculture, particularly in food crop sector and also upstream side. That's all. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks, Dr. Enda, for your nice explanation and questions. Actually, based on the Sri Lankan context, right, the food sector is a good sector to engage highly of our youth, right? Consider the paddy sector. In Sri Lanka also, there are high youth engagement based on the food sector, right? Especially the most of youth, they are not willing to engage for the cultivation practices of the foods. Especially they are focusing on the post-house sector. That's why I trying to highlight that kind of area. Because most of youth generations, they are engaging with us to get new knowledge and new entrepreneurship idea, how to engage of them based on the first house technology. Because due to our agricultural behavior, agricultural ecological conditions, even Sri Lanka is the agri-based country, even Indonesia also. Then we can find out enough harvested products as a raw material that we can use to our young generation to start a new business, right? Let me give some example. At the food sector, most of young generation, they can start the new entrepreneurship opportunities by using the fruit, right? As an example, mango, right? This is the most prominent fruit crops in our country. Normally, the mango fruit farmer, they just try to sell it as a fresh fruit, right? So then it is given the low price at the market. Then young generation, they can involve the post house process and they can use this kind of fruits, right? And first they can sort and grade the high quality fresh fruits of the mango, and they can put some label on the mango fruit, and they can directly sell into the export market. nowadays, based on my case study, Mr. Dhananjay is the young entrepreneur. Now he is export the fresh high quality mango for the German, right? And rest of the mangoes they can use as a raw material to produce mango fruit pulp, right? To produce mango fruit drink, mango fruit jam or cordial or whatever products. Then if we can produce final product based on our agriculture raw material, definitely we can get the high profit. Then based on the perception of the youth, they are always trying to engage with the white collar job background. So if we can introduce novel machines, equipments, and some technologies, definitely we can engage the youth engagement as significantly.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mahindra Herat. I think it's okay, Bu Endah, Dr. Endah. Yeah. Yeah, already answered the question from Dr. Endah. The next, maybe we have one participant already raised the hand, Miss Sinta Maulidina. Yeah, let's start your question.
Yeah,
Miss
okay.
Sinta.
Okay, sir. I want to ask about what skills are essential for young people aspiring to become entrepreneur. Sorry, can you hear my voice?
Sorry, please repeat again.
Okay. What skills are essential for young people aspiring to become entrepreneurs?
Yes, what kind of skills, no? Yes, right. Based on my understand, I think she asks what kind of skills.
Main skill for entrepreneur for the especially for us for student in our institution. Yeah. In
Mainly
other
skills.
factor. Main
Sorry,
skill like
skills, no?
skill.
Yes, yes.
Like soft skill, hard skill, or something like
Yes,
what's
yes.
the kind of
Okay. Okay, got the point. So based on the this questions, actually, soft skills is the most important. If we have positive attitudes, right, based on the soft skills, definitely we can introduce the other technologies and other skills, how to use the novel technologies, right? Because sometime digital based informations, right, or skills. Normally, the youth generation are aware regarding the soft skills such as using some digital-based equipments and technologies and softwares. Then we can easily engagement of such kind of youth generation to our agriculture sector. So especially in the novel machines and equipments, they have already developed based on this kind of technologies. Then the elderly farmers, they are unable to catch up and unable to operate this kind of machines, right? But if we can introduce this kind of technologies or machines to our young generations, they can easily handle those techniques, right? So then I think soft skills is the most important by highly focusing on the digital based platform.
Okay, thank you, Miss Sinta. Is it okay?
Yes,
The
sir. For
question.
your answer.
Okay, thank you very much, Miss Sinta, for your question, and you also thank you very much, Mahindra, for the answer. Yeah, maybe we still have three question here, but maybe because of time, maybe I choose one more. Maybe directly if already raised the hand, Miss Johannes, Mister, yeah, Mister Johannes. One more, Johannes, already there? You there? Johannes, are you
You
there?
hear my
Yeah,
voice?
I'm here. Your voice. Are you there? Yeah, you can directly ask your question to the Dr. Mahindra Herat.
Okay.
Okay.
So thank you, Mr. Mahendra. I'd love to
Please
hear
open
your
your
presentation.
camera. Is it okay? Open your camera.
I forget.
Yeah.
Is something trouble with my computer?
Okay.
Wait, sir. It's something trouble with my computer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no problem. Oh, yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
So thank you very much, Dr. Mahindra. I'd love to hear your presentation this morning. Especially we are the young generation for now, so in agriculture sector. So the question is, how can digital platform help market agriculture product? Thank you.
How the digital market? Oh, sorry. Repeat
Can I
again.
repeat it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay. How can digital platform help youth market agriculture product?
Okay.
Yes.
You get it, right? Yeah. How the digital market, yeah,
How
to
we can digital market
the
for the
market
agriculture. Isn't it, sir?
to reach the youth agriculture, yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
based on the young agriculturist, digital market is the most prominent platform. Actually, most of us, and especially in the youth generation, they are well keen to use the digital-based platform, especially social media, YouTube, WhatsApp, TikTok, or Instagrams. So these are the good opportunities and good sources to create the good market platform to sell our agricultural products, right? So within low cost of production or even within use the low capital, right? Actually, we can create the good market platform based on these digital market platforms. Even actually, we can we all of us we have some Facebook profile or sometime Facebook page. Normally, just we are using to share our day-to-day activities or some our experience or some to share some our photos, right? But actually, we can think little bit and we can create the good Facebook page based on our agriculture business or our agriculture activities, right? So then let me give some example. If some of youth they can create some Facebook page and regularly continuously they can put some message or some short videos regarding their agricultural business, right? Then gradually they can build up good audience based on the social media, and finally they can easily sell their product into the big audience, right? So nowadays in our country also there are so many examples how we can use the social media platform, especially Facebook page, YouTube, and Instagram to create the new market ventures for our agriculture sector. I think even in the Indonesia also, the some of not some of most of uh, youth generations they can use this kind of platforms to create the new market segment.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Mahindra Herat. I think it's enough, yeah, for the
Is
question.
it okay, sir?
Is it okay, Mr. Yohanes?
Yes, okay.
Yeah, it's
Thank you,
okay.
Miss Dr. Mahindra.
Or do you any question? Is it okay, right? One
Yes,
more?
sir.
One more or enough?
So should I explain more?
No, no. I mean, this is okay, right? Mahindra, is it okay? Yeah, I think it's enough for the Mr. Yohanes, Dr. Mahindra. Because of time, actually, we still have actually, Fitri. Do you want to? We still have, I think, almost the same in the chat room. The question we can directly to maybe after this webinar we can ask directly to the Dr. Menda by email or by call. Yeah, we can send the question because of time. Or maybe one more. Yeah, one more. This is directly. One more is it Fitria Ramadhani. Are you there, Fitria? One more. Yeah, one more. Because of time. Yeah, Fitria. Let's ask the question just shortly. Yeah, just shortly your question. Okay.
All right, one more question.
Okay.
I want to ask you about what role should universities and vocational institutions play in making agriculture appealing to young people? Thank you.
What? Sorry, repeat again.
What should
What
what
should?
role should universities and
Okay.
vocational institutions play
Okay.
in making agriculture appealing to young people?
Yeah. What's the university to make young people agripreneurs? Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Thanks for your questions. And actually, in our country, there are 15 national universities in our country, and the 13 universities they are following agriculture-based degree programs, even undergraduate, masters, and PhD, as well as they are conducting some diploma-based courses, right? To give the knowledge and to enhance the skills regarding the agricultural activities of our citizens. As well as there are some technical college, the tertiary education college. They also conducted some diploma level courses such as NVQ 3, 4, 5, 6, as well as 7 to give different level of the educational background of the agriculture for our youth generation.
Okay. Sure enough. Miss Fitria. Yeah. Thank you very much for your question today. Yeah, I think Dr. Mahendra already answered your question, but because of time also, because actually we already passed 25 minute question. So because of time also, please give applause to Dr. Mahindra, yeah, for the nice presentation today. Yeah. So please for Dr. Mahindra, I think we have a closing statement from Vice Director for closing ceremony. Yeah, we need you still here at least
Okay, sir.
until the end of the ceremony from us.
Sure, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much for your kindness because you're waiting from 10 o'clock until 12 and ini almost 12 more ya. What time in Sri Lanka? No, what time?
Now it's 11.
Oh, 6:11.
Yeah,
Oh,
it is I
11.
think one and a half.
One half. Okay, one half before in Indonesia, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's still morning, right?
Yes, sir.
Before 12 o'clock. Okay. Thank you very much. We also extend. We hope that all, yeah. For presentation today, Dr. Mahendra. Thank you very much. I think finished for today. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished speaker and respected guests and all participants, we have now reached the end of the International Polbangtan Yoma webinar, ya, the Building Sustainable Food System Through Organic Farming, Youth Empowerment and Digital Agriculture. We have two speakers today, Dr. Mahindra and Dr. Ravinda Joshi. On behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to express sincere appreciation and gratitude to our honorable speaker, Dr. Mahindra and Dr. Ravinda Joshi, to sharing valuable insight, experience, and best practice. Your contribution have enriched our understanding and how sustainable agriculture, youth engagement, and digital innovation can work together to strengthen global food system. We also extend our heartfelt thanks to all participants from various countries, institutions, and background. Your activity, participant, question, and discussion reflect the strong collective commitment to advance sustainable and resilient food system. We hope that all knowledge shared today will inspire concrete action, collaboration, and innovation, particularly in empowering young generation, promoting organic farming practice, and accelerating the adoption of digital agriculture for more sustainable future. Finally, we apologize as me moderator today if any any mistake for me because of the moderator today, for any shortcoming during the webinar also. May this forum serve as a starting point for continued comparison and knowledge exchange for both national and international level. Thank you very much for your attention and participation. We wish you good health and success, Dr. Mahinda Herat, ya, and you wish you have good collaboration the next future, ya. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you and see you in the next event. Yeah, time is for the MC, right? Yeah, to Miss Dina and Miss Hilmi. Time is yours.
Before we officially close this international webinar series 2025, we will listen to the closing remarks delivered by the Vice Director 1 of Polbangtan Yoma. To our respect, Vice Director of Polbangtan Yoma, Ms. Endah Puspito Jati, the time and stage are yours.
Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. Good morning from Sri Lanka. Thank you, Dr. Mahinda Herat. You still here. And good afternoon to all participants, honorable speakers, partners, moderators, and also all participants. As we conclude this international webinar, let me highlight one strong message. The future of agriculture requires strong and sustained collaboration across countries. No single institution or nation can address global food challenges alone. Polbangtan Yoma, Politeknik Pembangunan Pertanian Yogyakarta Magelang, is highly interested in developing concrete international cooperation, particularly in education and research. We warmly invite our partners to collaborate through invited international lecturers, joint teaching activities, and also curriculum enrichment, and also student exchange, as well as collaborative research and publication that bring real benefit to farmers and agricultural communities in our respective countries. Currently, Polbangtan Yoma manages 6 study programs. Polbangtan Yoma is a polytechnic under the Ministry of Agriculture, Republic of Indonesia. We have 6 study programs. First, sustainable agricultural extension. The second one, livestock extension and animal welfare. The third one is fish technology. The fourth is horticultural agribusiness. The 5, livestock production technology. And we also have animal feed technology. It is supported by highly competent human resources in their respective field. To further elevate research quality, innovation, and social impact, I think international collaboration is essential. As vocational higher education institution under Indonesian Ministry of Agriculture, Polbangtan Yoma carries a strategic national mandate to accelerate agricultural development and contribute directly to Indonesian goal of achieving food self-sufficiency as soon as possible. We have so many goals in our country, and our president goals in Aksasita number 2 is food self-sufficiency. I would like to sincerely thanks to all participants for your active participation, thoughtful question, and also constructive discussion during this webinar. And also, I really thanks to all the speakers here for inspiring presentation and inspiring knowledge during these 2 days webinar. Let us move forward together, sharing knowledge, co-creating solutions, and building sustainable food systems for our countries and also for the world. Stronger collaboration, smarter agriculture, and sustainable food future for all. Stay healthy, stay inspired, and stay connected. We are very much looking forward to the future collaboration. Thank you so much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of our Day 2 program, as well as the conclusion of the International Webinar Series 2025. On behalf of the organizing committee, we would like to express our sincere gratitude to all participants who have taken the time to join us for 2 full days. Your active participation, enthusiasm, and engagement have been truly appreciated. We hope that the knowledge, insight, and perspectives shared during this webinar will be meaningful and beneficial, and may serve as inspiration to strengthen our roles in building sustainable and resilient agricultural system in the future.
Once again, we would like to extend our deepest appreciation to our distinguished speakers and moderator for their valuable contribution and time. We apologize for any shortcoming and throughout the implementation of these events. Thank you very much for your attention and participation. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Foto dulu nggak nih? Tadi lupa ya.
Indonesia, sebuah bangsa yang besar, menghadapi tantangan yang mendesak yaitu ketahanan pangan. Jumlah petani yang mengadopsi teknologi masih rendah.
Thank you semua ya, Bapak Ibu semua. Saya
Aplikasikan
izin ya.
secara optimal. Mayoritas petani kita berusia 45 hingga 54 tahun dan
Terima kasih Bapak Ibu izin live.
oleh lulusan SD. Kondisi ini menyebabkan mereka kesulitan mencerna informasi.
Terima kasih semua ya. Izin ya.
Teknologi baru. Padahal
Beda
sektor
semua,
pertanian
Bapak Ibu.
menyerap tenaga kerja terbesar. Di tengah tantangan ini, muncullah sebuah harapan. Politeknik Pembangunan Pertanian Yogyakarta Magelang atau Polbangtan Yoma. Sebagai kepanjangan tangan Kementerian Pertanian, Polbangtan Yoma bertugas mencetak generasi muda pertanian yang handal, berkarakter, dan profesional.
Pertanian hari ini bukan sekedar cangkul dan sawah, tetapi tentang teknologi, riset, dan inovasi. Mahasiswa harus berani menjadi lokomotif perubahan. Jika kita bermimpi tentang kedaulatan pangan, maka kampus dan generasi mudanya harus hadir. Turun langsung, memberi warna, memberi solusi.
Polbangtan Yoma menyelenggarakan pendidikan tinggi vokasi jenjang diploma 4 dengan pembelajaran yang didominasi pada praktik, membekali mahasiswa keterampilan nyata dan pengalaman langsung di lapangan. Kurikulum kami dirancang untuk menciptakan SDM pertanian yang profesional, mandiri, dan berdaya saing. Polbangtan Yoma menghadirkan Teaching Factory, model pembelajaran berbasis praktik yang memadukan dunia pendidikan dengan standar industri. Di sini, mahasiswa tidak hanya belajar teori, tetapi bekerja langsung dalam lingkungan kerja yang sesungguhnya. Mereka terlibat penuh dalam proses produksi dan penyediaan jasa dari hulu hingga hilirisasi produk sehingga memiliki pemahaman mendalam, keterampilan teknis, dan sikap profesional yang dibutuhkan di dunia kerja. Polbangtan Yoma memastikan lulusannya memiliki keterampilan yang memenuhi standar industri melalui sertifikasi kompetensi yang terintegrasi dalam kurikulum. Sertifikat ini menjadi pengakuan resmi atas kompetensi lulusan dan memperkuat daya saing mereka di dunia kerja maupun wirausaha. Kurikulum kami berupaya mengakomodasi kebutuhan dunia industri. Kami memperkuat kolaborasi dengan dunia usaha dan dunia industri atau DUDIKA melalui kunjungan industri dan penguatan kerjasama baik nasional maupun internasional. Kami juga mempersiapkan mahasiswa untuk bersaing secara global dengan bekal dasar pembelajaran bahasa Inggris dan Jepang. Melalui Tridharma Pendidikan, mahasiswa kami tidak hanya belajar teori, tetapi juga langsung terjun ke lapangan, membantu mengidentifikasi masalah, perencanaan potensi, hingga menjadi penyuluh pertanian. Kami percaya pendidikan dan kapasitas petani adalah modal penting untuk keberlanjutan sumber daya petani. Kami menyediakan lingkungan belajar yang kondusif dan berdaya dukung tinggi, meliputi asrama yang tertata rapi dan representatif, area kampus yang hijau dan asri, lahan praktek luas yang tersebar di beberapa titik lokasi, serta perpustakaan dengan koleksi buku yang komprehensif untuk menunjang kegiatan riset dan penyusunan tugas akhir. Di sini, mahasiswa dibina untuk menjadi insan berkarakter kuat, mandiri, dan bertanggung jawab. Polbangtan Yoma juga membekali mereka dengan berbagai keterampilan tambahan yang memperkuat soft skill serta menumbuhkan daya juang dalam menghadapi tantangan kehidupan. Polbangtan Yoma bukan hanya tentang pendidikan, tapi juga tentang inovasi. Mahasiswa kami didorong untuk menjadi wirausahawan muda. Mereka menciptakan produk-produk inovatif yang mampu menjadi solusi praktis di tengah-tengah masyarakat. Untuk itu, kami menjalin sinergi dengan HIPMI untuk mengembangkan ekosistem kewirausahaan di kampus melalui seminar, pendampingan bisnis, dan penguatan networking. Ini membantu mahasiswa memahami aspek kewirausahaan dan pemasaran. Melalui PWMP, Polbangtan Yoma mengajak para alumni menjadi pelopor wirausaha pertanian. Inilah kesempatan untuk mengembangkan bisnis, menciptakan lapangan kerja, dan menjadi bagian dari solusi ketahanan pangan Indonesia. Polbangtan Yoma membuktikan komitmennya melalui aksi nyata dalam mendukung program kampus vokasi berdampak. Mahasiswa kami terjun langsung ke lapangan, mendampingi petani dalam upaya mewujudkan swasembada pangan. Kami juga menjalin kolaborasi dengan pemerintah daerah untuk meningkatkan produktivitas pertanian sekaligus kesejahteraan petani. Polbangtan Yoma telah berevolusi dari sekolah pertanian menengah atas menjadi Politeknik Pembangunan Pertanian. Kami adalah institusi yang terakreditasi baik sekali oleh Ban PT dan kami akan terus mencetak sarjana terapan yang profesional dan berkarakter. Di tangan para pemuda inilah masa depan pertanian Indonesia berada. Mereka adalah tulang punggung penggerak pembangunan pertanian. Dari kampus Polbangtan Yoma, kami melangkah menuju pertanian yang berdaulat. Polbangtan Yoma melahirkan petani modern mengukuhkan kedaulatan pangan Indonesia.